What's good? It's your boy CJ Goodfellow back with the boxing clinic. Told y'all we was going for at least 5 videos every day. That's always the goal, but we back. And shout out to Fight Hype, man. I'm gonna link this interview in the description. I believe Keith Thurman was at the Devin Alexander fight in Florida. If you didn't know, Devin Alexander looked very impressive last night. I didn't see it, but I know he beat Castillo to a unanimous decision, and it was in Florida, I guess, because Kevin Cunningham moved his St. Louis-based gym, where he used to be a cop at in St. Louis, and turned boxing trainer, boxing coach, to I think they're down in West Palm Beach, Florida now. And you know, Keith showed up, and Ben Thompson, I believe, from Fight Hype, shout out to him. Like I said, I'm gonna link the interview in the description. And Keith Thurman just swerved right, swerved left, in my little boosty voice around Errol Spence once again, man. This is comical now, man. Now, I've been defending Keith Thurman to a certain extent now. But, you know, basically he said, you know, Errol Spence is not on my immediate to-do list. Basically, he's not thinking about Errol Spence. And the way Errol Spence, I guess, worded, you know, at their press conference, they set up to announce the Lamont Peterson fight. Keith Thurman was there in Brooklyn, New York. I forgot what fight it was. Keith Thurman, I think it was the Deontay Wilder fight. Keith Thurman, you know, said that Errol Spence said, I believe he did say this, that I fight Keith when he's ready. He said, I'm not ready right now. He says, I have to get a tune-up. Then Sean Porter's my mandatory. Last time we fought for the WBA title. And now this time he's the mandatory for my WBC title. Everybody's been knowing he won the rematch ever since the loss. So I got to do that obligation. And what Keith Thurman is conceding is he's only going to fight 2 times next year. And basically what Sean Porter's conceding is he's only going to fight 1 time next year. You know, he said he ain't coming back till he fight Keith Thurman. So, it seems like Al Heyman is not forcing his fighters to do anything they don't want to do. He's an advisor / manager boxer. He's you know, he does what his fighter wants him to do. He's not doing stuff for the betterment of PBC. He's doing stuff for the betterment of his fighters. And it seems like he's not gonna rush excuse me, Keith Thurman into nothing. Now you have, like, you know, Bob Arum that'll make his fighters do stuff, and if they don't do what he says what he says he wants them to do, then he shelf them like he did Nicholas Walters, and then starve them. When they starve out, he offers them a take it or leave it fight. They need the money. They want to they want to fight after being off for a long time. They come back and take the fight. Al Heyman's not doing that to his fighters, and you can see that with Keith Thurman. You know, his relationship with most of his fighters is as solid as a rock. And, you know, Keith Thurman just conceded that he's ducking Errol Spence, and it's not going to happen. And it's sad that out of all the champions in the division or potential champions in Terrence Crawford, that the one that holds the 2 belts and holds all the cards is the one that don't want to scrap. He don't want to compete. You know, he has faced, like, he's crossed over. You know, I'm going to use this analogy. He's like a rapper who used to be like underground into the streets, and now he's crossed over. You know, he's rapping stuff different. He's not rapping about what the streets wanted to hear no more. He's rapping about the lifestyle that he's living now, and that's Keith Thurman. He wants to maintain the lifestyle that he's living. He's content. He's happy. He's very, very pleased with the position he's in. And he says that, you know, I could have never dropped down without losing. After I injured, I was going up before the injury, and now I plateaued. And he's fought once for the last 2 years, 1 time each year, you know, and he's really living up to the name 1 time. Would I be surprised if he got injured in a tune-up fight or something and he only fought 1 time this year? I think that's what it's trending to. He's trying to milk these belts. You know, Al Heyman's going to pay him $2.5 to $3 million even for a tune-up fight, and that's what it is. He might only fight 1 time this year. And will the WBC might, you know, will strip him after this one. You know, but as far as the WBA, I doubt it. He's been representing, you know, being a regular WBA champion since Floyd Mayweather had the Super WBA champion, whoever had it. So we're not going to get Errol Spence and Keith Thurman in 2018. I told you it was more realistic that we got Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford the other day first. And that's what it's trending to. And then the guy who has all the belts is the guy that's the plug in the division. Now he's playing the Bermain Stavern role, you know, where he's in the way. And we wanted to see Deontay Wilder and Luis Ortiz before Ortiz, you know, got busted for PEDs, you know. And that's what it was. You know, that's exactly what it is. He's playing that role, and, you know, he's holding the division up, you know, and he's going to lose a lot of fans, you know, and a lot of popularity behind this too, and he's gonna have to fight to get it back. And he don't care. He don't see it that way. Like I said, this guy's not hungry no more. It's not the Keith Thurman that I used to see, and you can see it in his mentality. You can see it in his demeanor. You can see it in him in the ring. He's trying to protect what he got. And he says, he has a nerve in an interview to say, I got an O and I'm not scared to let it go. Well, eventually you're scared to let it go. Because everybody knows unification bounds Trump mandatory. So if you truly wanted to fight Errol Spence and prove your worth and you the best in the division, you can fight Errol Spence next after your tune-up fight, because the unification bout trumps, a mandatory. And you would have to pay Sean Porter a dime. So are you accommodating Sean Porter because you're scared of Errol Spence, or because Sean Porter is a close friend, you think he deserves the belt? Absolutely not. You're accommodating because you're on the other side of the pendulum. You accommodating him because you feel that you already beat him, and you hiding behind the fact that he's a mandatory. And you know how to beat him, and you feel comfortable in beating him. It's a nice, good payday, probably around the same payday Errol Spence bring. And you were worried about Errol Spence 2019, and you ain't gonna fight him in the beginning of 2019. He ain't gonna probably fight him until the summer or to the end of 2019. So it's a whole year and a half, or a year, almost 2 years away from us seeing the fight that we want to see. And as boxing fans, we got to continue to wait for great fights, because it's for punks like Keith Thurman out here, and I like Keith, but it's for punks like Keith Thurman out here who don't want to compete. He a punk. Trying to hide behind Sean Porter being a man. Don't nobody care about you seeing fighting Sean Porter no more. It was a good fight. We seen it. We want to get this division rolling. First it was Pacquiao holding up the division with the WBO belt. Now Crawford about to get his hands on the belt. Now Errol Spence and those two Crawford and Errol Spence will fight anybody. Why can't they be in a position to have two belts? Because I know they not gonna duck nobody. And at the end of the day, man, we gonna have to wait again. Continue to wait. Continue to wait for Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua. Continue to wait for Santa Cruz versus Gary Russell, Santa Cruz versus Regan Dial. Continue to wait for all the great fights that we want to see. Jamal Charlo versus Gennady Golovkin. Continue to wait for all the great fights, But at least we are getting some. At least we getting George Grove versus Chris Eubanks Jr. But most of the fights, they get stale. UFC, when they got a fight that's as hot as fish grease, they make it happen. Boxing is too many politics involved, too many belts involved. Because if you pass up on a title shot in the UFC, well, you're going back down the line, and it's only one title to fight for. So it's a take it or leave it, deal. In boxing, I'll leave it, and I know I can go fight in another belt, and I can get an easier route. Even if you give these warriors an easier route, if you give them another route, they're gonna rather take that another route than the route of the most resistance. And that's what Keith Thurman doing. He's taking the route of least resistance. Like I said, I'm gonna link this interview so you know that it's Trill. If you don't know what Trill is, it's the combination of real and truth. And one thing Keith Thurman ain't is he ain't real, he ain't truth, and he ain't Trill. You dig? And that's one of my favorite guys out there. But like I said, I'm objective. I call it how I see him, and he's a punk. He has no intention of fighting Errol Spence, and I wouldn't be surprised if he says, I can't make the weight no more, I'm moving to 54, or he bows out and retires. I don't see him fighting Errol Spence. I don't see it. Because I see in his face, he a punk. He's scared. We out.